2 and 1, reveal them all.
So 2 things with this card. One, during block constructed testing, Luis Scott Vargas tried very hard to make this card work. It did not.
What a real shock that is.
Secondly, once I played this in draft, I went through everything except I drew most of my spells naturally, then got to this thing and tutored for cancel.
Just that's it?
That's all I had.
Just 7 mana tutor for a cancel?
Gotta cancel.
That's...
I went on to lose the game in the match.
You see a Steam Vents is going to come into play here for O'Brien before it looks like passing the turn back to Rill. A Banishing Light looks like it rolls off the top of his deck. That's going to target, looks like some sort of detention sphere to get an Elspeth back. You see the Oblivion Ring and Banishing Light effects are all over the place. Doesn't come as much of a surprise. We're going to see a lot of that moving forward.
Yeah, before when it was just Detention Sphere, at least they were fairly stable in play because Detention Spheres can't target other Detention Spheres. Now it's a free-for-all.
Yeah. You see Mutavault and Soldier Tokens are going to come in here. Rill gets his Elspeth back, and we'll see what O'Brien can figure out now. So he draws a card. It's a Temple of Triumph. You see he's got a Deicide in his hand, among other things. He also picked up a Counterflux. You got to like that tutor package.
Yeah, it's nice. There's some nice bullets. Being able to get Dispel in post-board games is pretty sweet.
Deicide going to come in. Detentions are going to come back as Banishing Light was taken care of. The Soldier Tokens are going to go away. Mutavaults are going to go after Elspeth now. And Rill, all he has in his hand is a land. It's a plane. So there goes his Planeswalker. And Brian's going to play Temple afterward. He's done a nice job of bouncing back here.
And Dispel still at the ready.
Yeah, along with the Counterflux once he gets the opportunity untapped. So both these players do have a bunch of Mutavaults, however. So that'll make things really interesting. It looks like Rill may have picked up an Azorius Charm. Maybe.
I believe he has.
He's going to start by attacking with Mutavaults. So O'Brien's going to go down to 3. The one thing O'Brien doesn't, or excuse me, one thing that Rill does not have is direct damage, where O'Brien does have that.
I'm a little surprised to see him not use it that turn because there's so many high upside draws that he has, like one of his Planeswalkers, that now he can't resolve in the face of the Counterflux.
Yeah. Hallowed Fountain pass the turn back. Those Mutavaults look like they're on defense now. Rill going to take a draw. Looks like an Azorius Guildgate was picked up. Going to cycle an Azorius Charm here. And Brian says that's fine. Going to play Azorius Guildgate tapped. Pass the turn back over to Chris. You see him reaching for mana right away. 3 of it, in fact. A Banishing Light. Is this okay, he asks. I would like something back. I would like this back.
Not a bad one to go get.
Keranos. God of Storms. First time on the old SCG Spotlight.
Very proud.
We'll bring that up for you guys here
excited.
so you can see. I know you wrote about it.
Very excited to get to preview this one. That's for sure.
As long as Devotion to Blue is 7.
Don't even worry about that.
That first line of text really doesn't matter. What mostly matters, this is a card advantage engine for this deck and arguably a win condition as well. And O'Brien can sit behind this along with Counterflux and Dispel to get the job done. And the way that his deck is built, this should hit just about every time. A land's going to go to the grip, so he gets to draw 2 cards for this turn. You see the Hallowed Fountain now, Temple of Enlightenment. He gets to scry, set up his Keranos. Oh my, oh
yeah.
baby.
Oh yeah.
You can see it happening.
It's an exciting time to be alive.
Rill with a lot of poor draws coming at the top of his deck. He's going to probably get buried underneath this card advantage. The Tension Sphere.
And buried under the damage, too.
Yeah. There's a Hallowed Fountain, pass the turn back. Doesn't take long for Keranos to get the job done either. And
Counterflux Dispel is such a brutal tutor package in the mirror match.
Yeah, it really, really is. There's Elspeth. He says that goes upstairs too. My goodness. This thing just dealing.
Just dealing right now.
Whenever you reveal a land card, you get to draw. Whenever you reveal a non-land card, 3 damage. Elspeth, is that okay? The answer is yes. Looks like we're trying to close this one out pretty quickly here.
Yeah.
So you see 3 more Soldier Tokens. Here's an island from Rill. This is a Jace. See if O'Brien cares about this. I'd be surprised if he did.
Yeah, it's risky with Christopher this low for him to tap low and then potentially, you know, something happens to those mutavaults and he kind of gets, or to those tokens and kind of gets pumped out of the game. I don't think he's going to fight over this kind of stuff.
I think Jace is actually just priced into plussing every turn.
Yeah.
Because of those soldier tokens.
Although it's tough because, you know, there's a lot of inevitability on Christopher's side of the table because of this Keranos. So here comes a Jace minus. Unclear how much Christopher cares about Aetherling with Counterflux in hand, but always, I guess, best to err on the side of making that the hardest card to take.
I would like to think so. See D-Sphere and Mutavault too. Counterflux just gives you this warm, comfy feeling.
Yes.
Whatever you do, I don't care.
It's so safe.
Yeah. That's really the appeal of Splashing Red in this deck. I think among all of the cards, I think Counterflux is the one that you want the most.
It gives you the most, in the mirror match, it changes the way the game gets played the most.
Rill gonna cast a Detention Sphere here.
Because the games in the mirror are often about mana advantage and leveraging that to resolve spells by setting up a threat card with multiple counters. And you cannot do that in the face of Counterflux.
D-Sphere gonna take down Elspeth. And you see O'Brien not fighting over any of this stuff with the Counterflux, saving this for a much better spot as Rill's gonna play a third Mutavault.
Yeah, he's not going to fight over small stuff. It's only going to be for a large revelation or a similarly threatening card.
Just going to pass the turn back. The God of Storm's going to go to work. I'll take this land, thank you. Temple of Enlightenment was the one that was picked up.
Keranos doing a lot of work.
Sweet card.
You do not need to get the Devotion online for this card to be sufficiently powerful.
Top card, gonna stay on top from the Temple. See what O'Brien wants to follow this up with, if anything. Soldier tokens really don't get to do very good attacks here towards the Jace. Looks like the Mutavaults may be going in. Let's see, he's reaching for some mana. Okay, he's just gonna play Detention Sphere. He says, all right, get rid of your Jace.
Not much else to do with this sphere, so might as well deny Eric some draws.
Yeah, spheres are everywhere on the top side of that table. They are actually everywhere. We're going to clear this up a little bit. Make it easier for you guys at home. I think that's going to be something, again, that we see a lot of moving forward as O'Brien passes the turn back over to Rill. Rill going to play a Temple of Enlightenment of his own. Even though those spheres don't seem like they're, you know, they're kind of irrelevant up there at the top of the screen, they are providing devotion for Keranos. I don't know if it's ever going to turn it on, but it doesn't take much to finish it up.
Well, even if he has all 4 Detention Spheres in play, he still needs something like Jace to finish the deal. Oh!
Speak of the devil, and it shall appear. With Jace and Keranos, that's 3, 4. I think he has 3 spheres in play.
Yeah, he needs 3 spheres.
Yeah. 2, 3. Is it Charm and Rev? Rev versus Rev going to the grip. Charm and Island going to go to the bottom. There's a Temple, little scry action. Just going to pass the turn back, so it looks like he might be a little bit short on devotion.
Yeah, at this point, it's not even clear whose spheres are whose.
Yeah. I'm looking for the pink sleeves.
I think he has 2. He has 2 spheres in play, it looks like.
2 spheres and a Banishing Light.
Yeah, and Banishing Light provides no devotion for Keranos. So.
Correct. A quick untap here for O'Brien. Top card is a Charm. 3 to you.
And again, Christopher in no rush here.
No reason to be.
No reason.
The God of Storms will get the job done. He can just sit behind the counter magic. He can cash in his Jace. There's an Elspeth, and a Hollow Fountain. Gonna take the 2 cards, put the other Elspeth to the bottom. We'll see if he wants to cast the Elspeth or not. Looks like he does.
Yeah, again, with counterfluxes, he has a lot of security. Nothing too bad can happen.
3 more soldiers. 3 more creatures to get in the way of those Mutavaults. There's a Hollow Fountain before passing the turn back. Again, sitting with a Rev and a Counterflux along with a Dispel. And the Izzet Charm, too. He's just really, really safe right now. Is O'Brien. Rill going to draw his card. You see his hand. He's got a Supreme Verdict, a Revelation, and 2 islands. Nothing too crazy over there for Eric. Going to play an island, going to cast Supreme Verdict. There go the soldiers. Will Rill fire up his Beautivaults?
Yeah, Christopher can animate all 3 of his Beautivaults, block, and still leave up Counterflux. Yep. So,
Temple of Triumph. That'll allow Brian to draw 2 cards this turn. Elspeth gonna take up. Give me those 3 soldiers, he says. Time to scry. Top to the bottom. Just pass the turn back behind the counter magic wall. Over to Rill we go. Just a Revelation over there for Eric. We know that's not gonna happen. Temple of Enlightenment now. Scry. His top stays on top, something that he likes. Before passing it back over to O'Brien. Top card, a Dissolve.
Not a bad one to find here.
3 to you. More counter magic. Almost feels like a counter burn strategy, something that we haven't seen in years.
Well, Keranos facilitates it all by itself.
Yeah. And now, Beautivaults along with Soldier tokens can come in. He can play very, very aggressive. Follow up, Izzet Charm one of them. He gets to pick a fight here to push through things, and that's going to do it. So Christopher O'Brien's going to win game number 2. We're going to go to a third one here between blue-white-red control and blue-white control. Buckle up, it's going to take a little while.
Yeah, I mean, Counterflux, such an important element, too.
It's hard to believe. I mean, after sideboard, it seems like O'Brien is in a really, really good spot. We take a look at the sideboards here. We're going to start with Rill. He's got a Pithing Needle, an Aetherling, a Blind Obedience, 2 copies of Nyx Fleece Ram, 2 Celestial Flare, a Deicide, a Dispel, 2 Gainsays, 3 Lash Breaths, 1 Negate. What do you like over there?
Negate, Gainsays, Dispels, the Deicide, and Aetherling, maybe the Pithing Needle. I know these decks have a lot of overlapping pieces, but usually one deck has some sort of advantage somewhere, and you can always get out from under it by getting rid of your own needle if it comes to that sort of thing.
You know, a lot of the time in this sort of matchup, you know, the blue-white control players, they just board out their Supreme Verdicts and move on with life. However, you take a look at O'Brien's sideboard, he's got 2 copies of Bramaz, King of Rescos, and we saw those in that game hiding underneath the Detention Sphere. You also see the Aetherling, 2 Archangel of Thunes, 2 Anger of the Gods, and Assemble the Legion, 2 Celestial Flare, 2 Counterflux to Dispel, Magma Spray, and a Wear Tear. What do you like on that side?
Well, we already saw the 2 copies of Bramaz. I like them quite a bit here. It forces Eric to leave in some Supreme Verdicts he probably doesn't otherwise want to leave in. The copy of Aetherling is, of course, good. 2 copies of Counterflux we saw do some awesome work there. The Dispel. I think the Wear Tear will come in as well. Additional enchantment removal, pretty valuable when so much of the fight is over Banishing Light and Detention Sphere.
We do know it's going to take a little while. Christopher O'Brien going to take a second, maybe get himself ready, as we're going to watch game number 3. Winner of this match going to do battle against Andrew Tenjum, playing Black-Green Devotion.
Yeah, both of these players, I think, are going to have a tough road ahead of them if they get to the finals.
Yeah.
These mono Black Devotion lists, when they're playing against control decks, you're sort of banking on the fact that game 1, they have a lot of dead cards that they're drawing. When some of their removal spells Abrupt Decay that can target your Banishing Lights and your Detention Spheres to good effect, I believe it really changes the matchup.
Yeah, things do get a lot better for the Black-Green Devotion deck. And, you know, that's the way that they've wanted to go for some time now. They tried it again once Theros came out, but the mana just didn't really work. And, you know, because that didn't happen, Born of the Gods didn't add the Black-Green Temple. That came in Journey into Nyx. And it's not too surprising, honestly, to see a deck that people wanted to try so long ago, now that it finally has its Temple, actually work out.
People have gone out of their way for a while to play Abrupt Decay in lists.
Yes.
Even in the absence of a Black-Green Scryland, people have put that card in a ton of decks because Abrupt Decay, very efficient against the attacking decks of the format. Also, one of the few removal spells that's efficient against the control decks of the format because, again, they're at minimum playing Detention Sphere.
See, both players are going to shuffle up here. Probably not too much going to change in their sideboards. So
that sort of flexibility, that sort of double duty, that's a really powerful card. And so it makes sense that once the Scrylands did exist, people would really start playing a lot of them.
as these two players do shuffle up and get ready for game number 3. Quarter 4 schedule was announced. We got a lot of shows together. I don't know if I'm able to deal with this anymore.
I know, it's going to be tough.
Especially after yesterday. You were insufferable.
I was, if there was anyone doing way more trash talking, body bumping, yelling, it was you during the first half. Not even close.
There was just one body bump. I don't know. I lost my emotions on that one. I don't really have, I'll just apologize. It was unnecessary. But we take a look here. Grand Prix Orlando. You, me, Matthias will be doing the first limited Grand Prix. We'll head to Worcester after that. Then Minneapolis. You said you're taking over for Chapin.
I believe that's the case, yeah.
So we'll be together there. We'll also be together in Oakland as well. We'll be going over to the West Coast. Columbus, which I know we'll be there in June for the Season 2 Invitational, but it's always fun to go back there. Then Grand Prix New Jersey, Legacy Grand Prix, where we could break another record there.
I believe so. I believe that's in play.
Open Series in Richmond will follow that up. We'll go to Atlanta as well. And then the last 3, Portland, Seattle, and the Players' Championship in Roanoke. A lot of dates on the back end of the year. If you guys are in that area, we'd love to see you come out, play an Open Series event, work your way towards potentially the Players' Championship, or just have some fun for the weekend. A lot of players doing that this weekend in Seattle.
Yeah. This is a full slate of travel for me and you.
Look, if I'm not platinum on Delta, if I'm not diamond on Delta after this, I'm never going to be diamond on Delta.
I already mapped this out. We're hitting it comfortably.
Okay.
I already did the math. We're hitting it comfortably.
Thank you very much.
Next to Mr. Delta himself, we're going to be the highest ranking people on the airline. I'm looking forward to it.
Some people, I always get asked, what's it like to travel that much? And I always tell people, if you don't like airplanes or hotel rooms, this is not for you.
Yeah, I don't mind either.
Yeah, me either.
Get on the airplane, got my cup of coffee, my copy of The Economist, just settle on in, maybe take a nap.
All of the things you just said, I've never done on an airplane.
Oh, okay. You've never slept on an airplane?
I haven't had a cup of coffee. I don't know what The Economist is.
Oh, it's a magazine.
Yeah, of course it is.
Well,
sounds terrible.
Well, whatever.
I read the Sky Mall, thank you, while listening to Drops of Jupiter by train. As we're underway here in game number 3, we're going to see both players play a bunch of lands. Now, the one thing here is, we've seen in the past in Blue-White Controller, Esper, things like that, a card like Nightveil Spectre steal a game. Neither of those players have really anything like that. The closest you're going to get is a Burmaz from Chris.
Although Burmaz, if nothing else, forces Eric to sideboard in a way that he maybe otherwise wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Even if the card doesn't win the game outright, if Eric has to leave in, maybe in the mirror match, if he would normally want to leave in 1 Supreme Verdict, he has to leave in 2 instead.
Yep.
Even something like that makes a difference.
We're going to play a Temple of Enlightenment here. Oftentimes we say the first person to miss a land drop is the one that's going to lose in the control mirror, but we'll see what happens in this one, because it's going to take a while for both these players to miss a land drop. They both have a lot of temples.
Well, Counterflux gives Christopher a lot of insurance about being the first person to miss a land drop. That's the big edge that you get there, because you can still defend yourself from threat plus counterspell, even if you're behind on mana.
Yeah. And Bryant going to take a draw here. See, he picks up a Dissolve. Going to play a Steam Fence tapped, maybe. And he will, before passing the turn back.
It's best to err on the side. If you can play them tapped, I know a lot of people have the instinct of it's a control mirror match, just play them tapped. Mutavault beatdowns and Elspeth, they do matter. So saving your life points when you can, if it's free, is worth doing.
Howled Fountain there from Rill. There's a Mutavault from O'Brien. Take a draw, will Rill. Big match for him. With the Open Series points on the line, a huge match.
5th win in play for Eric, which would tie the record. This is, again, his 8th top 8.
There's a Temple.
Somehow, for a player as accomplished as he is on the Open Series, I still feel like he flies a little bit under the radar.
Me too.
A recent champion in Milwaukee in the Legacy Open.
He is very skilled. You see, he has a couple of counter spells in his hand. He's going to try to cast a Revelation here for 4. Force a little bit of action. That's a brutal counter spell.
Yep.
Is it Charm getting counter Revelation is absolutely brutal. That's another draw to Izzet too. It's crazy. Izzet has just been so underrepresented for the entire time that it's been out there.
This card has 3 really good modes.
Good against aggressive decks. So here's Jace. This slides through. This is a little bit scary.
Oh, this is a card capable of winning the game on its own.
There's a dissolve. Rill has, I believe, a negate in his hand. He could fight over this. It seems like he kind of wants to. You see O'Brien's hand. He's got lands and 2 revelations. Will Rill fight over this?
Tapping out, there's some risk.
There's definitely some risk.
But Jace Memory Adept is capable of winning the game all on its own.
It's going to come in. He says, 1,000,001, I'll take a card, mill to counterflux. That's a huge mill.
Yeah. And I like just milling, just going ahead and plussing right now. Just because if it does get hit by Detention Sphere, at least you've gotten some value out of it.
Yeah. What do you do now if you're Brian? Looks like he's going to cast a Jace. Going to turn this down. Hit 1, 2, 3. Dispel Mutavault Temple of Triumph. We talked about how it's normally going to take a while, but Jace Memory Adept is a card that can make it go really, really fast.
Yeah. Christopher does have a Mutavault in play, so Eric does have to concern himself to some extent on protecting the Jace, but it is capable of winning the game outright.
O'Brien not panicking yet, though. Really going to play Temple.
Eric also just has the option of just playing a card advantage game.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's going to do. He's going to mill again, take a draw. There's nothing that says you have to push the 0 button on that Jace right away.
Nope, he can wait.
Looks like a D-Sphere maybe going to get cast, potentially a Banishing Light. Tapping some mana on his main phase. There's a D-Sphere to get rid of the Jace. You can tell this is not the way O'Brien wants this game to go. He draws a card. Looks like it was the Firemind's Foresight.
A working man Sphinx's Revelation.
That's rev number 5, basically. See, Elspeth picked up here for Rill. He's going to take up again, going to mill a card. Rill going to draw a card. Looks like he picked up a copy of Mutavault now. Just going to pass the turn back, it looks like. Will O'Brien try to fire this off? It's going to fire off a rev instead. He's going to do it with 1 mana up to either bluff a Dispel or he actually has a Dispel.
So I think this is, given the state that Christopher's behind here, I think he's not really in a position to bluff here.
Yeah.
So I believe him when he says I have Dispel, and he does.
So a little counter war here. Dissolve targets the Revelation, Dispel targets the Dissolve, Dispel targeting Dispel. Rill wins the counter war. He gets to scry with Dissolve. O'Brien gets to untap very quickly. You have to imagine the shields might be a little low here for Rill.
Christopher has to resolve something.
Yeah. It's another rev. He's going to play Hierophant untapped.
Just needs to do something big. Because he is way behind right now.
Yeah. Just has to pass the turn back over to Rill, who's going to draw a card. And he says, draw 20. And I think, yeah, that's just going to, is that just going to do it right away?
Yeah.
Eric Rill with Jace Memory Adept is going to win this match, and he and Andrew Tenjum are going to do battle in the finals. Number 6 versus number 16 on the Open Series leaderboard are going to duke it out right now.
Great story.